Imagine standing on a dock when a soaked animal surfaces from dark water, not to attack, not to beg for food, but to push its injured newborn directly into your reach. For a second, your brain refuses the scene. A wild parent should hide its baby from us. It should flee, bite, disappear, do anything except offer the most fragile thing it owns to a human hand. Yet, versions of this moment keep appearing. Cats placing kittens on porches, birds leading rescuers toward fallen chicks, elephants pausing beside familiar caretakers, whales lingering near boats when a calf is trapped. The strange part is not that animals panic. The strange part is that some of them choose us while panicking. Why would a creature shaped entirely by danger decide that the loudest primate in the landscape is suddenly useful? We are not exactly famous for being harmless. We fence land, remove forests, and turn quiet habitats into roads, engines, and noise. By basic survival logic, a wild parent should rank humans somewhere between storm cloud and predator. And still, when crisis becomes sharp enough, some animals step across that invisible line. They do not trust the species. They trust a moment, a memory, a pattern. And that difference explains almost everything. Start with cats. A street cat that appears with kittens is rarely making a random social call. She has been quietly auditing the neighborhood for weeks. Who leaves water? Who walks past without lunging? Who opens a door softly? Cats are sharp accountants of safety. They study routes, faces, timing, and the critical difference between a person who feeds and a person who frightens. By the time kittens arrive at a doorstep, the decision was made long before the first meow. A mother cat does not need to believe humans are kind in some poetic sense. She only needs evidence that one particular person is predictable. That is why kittens go to the same porch, the same quiet neighbor, not the nearest random human. Once that person has been mentally moved from danger to possible shelter, the mother treats the home like the outer edge of her territory. Not family exactly, but close enough in an emergency. Have you ever noticed how trust from a stray feels less like affection and more like permission? That is because, in the cat's world, permission is enormous. Now move from alleys to oceans. A dolphin or whale approaching a boat with a baby in trouble seems deliberate in a way that silences people. An entangled calf cannot remove rope with flippers. A mother cannot cut line or unwrap plastic. But she may understand proximity, attention, and response. If boats have repeatedly become places where struggling animals are freed, that floating human machine stops being only noise. It becomes possibility. This is where intelligence matters. Dolphins and whales live inside dense social worlds. Their brains are built to notice who is weak, who can assist, and when another body should be brought closer. If that pattern occasionally extends toward humans, it is not mystical. It is social problem-solving pointed outside the usual circle. Human rescuers, when they understand an animal is trapped, behave in a pattern animals can read. They reduce speed, they avoid sudden movements, they make repeated, careful attempts. To us, that is rescue technique. To an animal watching nearby, it may register as non-aggressive help. And if a species has excellent memory, one safe encounter becomes a future shortcut. What looks like trust today may be yesterday's rescue stored in another nervous system. Birds make the idea even sharper. Crows, ravens, and magpies do not just react to humans as moving shapes. They identify individuals. They remember faces. They warn relatives. They pass information through calls and behavior. A person who rescues a chick may become known with a very good reputation among the local flock. So when a bird draws attention to a fallen chick near a familiar human, it may not be coincidence. It may be a decision based on a social file built over months. Could a young bird inherit trust without understanding where it came from? Not genetically, but socially, through watching. If the parent treats a human as safe, the offspring may absorb that category before ever testing it alone. Safety can become local culture. Not all humans, not every street, but that one person, that one yard. Elephants bring the emotional weight to another level entirely. Their societies are built on memory, mourning, protection, and long relationships. In sanctuaries, elephants that know certain caretakers may guide attention toward a calf that is ill or injured. They stand close, wait, and watch with a patience that feels almost unbearable. The animal is not performing. It is evaluating whether help is coming. Individual history matters enormously with elephants. A ranger who removed a snare, a caretaker who bottle-fed an orphan, a medic who appeared during previous pain, these people are not anonymous shapes. They become remembered beings. If an elephant can hold a route in memory across decades, it can hold the memory of a human who reduced suffering. Mercy leaves tracks, even when no one names it. By now, the pattern is visible. The most convincing cases involve three ingredients: a social animal, a specific human history, and a crisis the animal cannot solve alone. Remove any one piece and the story weakens. A highly fearful population may never approach. A lone animal with no positive human experience will flee. But add injury, memory, and low threat, and the equation shifts. There is also an uncomfortable layer we should not smooth over. Sometimes the behavior is less about trust and more about desperation. A flooded den, a predator nearby, a baby too weak to move crisis shrinks the menu of choices. A human may simply be the largest non-attacking presence available. Not immediately threatening can look like a chance when all other options are gone. That matters because it keeps the story honest. Not every approach is a noble request, but even desperation contains a calculation. The animal still comes closer instead of farther. That means the threat model has changed, at least briefly. Nature rarely rewards optimism without reason. If approach happens, something in the animal's experience has made approach seem survivable. There is also a practical reason humans become useful in a crisis. We alter the environment more than any other animal. We build fences that trap fawns, roads that separate mothers from young, plastic loops that tighten around necks, nets that catch fins. In many rescue stories, the danger itself is partly human-made. The same species that creates the obstacle may be the only species capable of removing it. This is why the best response is not to rush in like the hero of a rescue film. A frightened parent may be balancing on the edge between approach and panic. The safest human behavior is quiet, slow, and informed. Keep distance, call local wildlife experts when needed, and never turn trust into entertainment. A baby animal is not a prop. The moment asks for restraint as much as compassion. These stories spread so fast online because they offer a rare reversal. Usually we watch wildlife from outside, like visitors peering through glass, but in these moments, the animal seems to look back and assign us a role. That reversal is magnetic. It makes the viewer feel selected, responsible, and slightly stunned. And underneath all of it is a humbling reminder: animals are not simple machines reacting blindly. They compare, remember, test, and sometimes revise. A species can fear humans generally while trusting one human specifically. That nuance is the whole story. The wild world is not asking us to be adored. It is asking whether we can be predictable enough to trust. So, what makes an animal parent carry young toward a person? Because in certain places, with certain individuals, under enough pressure, we have become part of the animal's emergency landscape. Not as heroes, not as universal friends of nature, as one possible answer when the normal answers have failed. A cat remembers the quiet feeder. A crow remembers the patient face. A dolphin remembers the careful boat. An elephant remembers the hands that once ended pain. The baby arrives where the evidence points. Every bowl of water left out, every slow step taken, every decision not to frighten these become invisible deposits in a bank of trust. One day, when a parent has no better option, that account may be opened. If this changed the way you see animal trust, please like this video for wins of thought, because the more people understand these quiet connections, the more likely we are to protect them. The world is always taking notes in feathers, fur, and memory. The only question is what our behavior is teaching it.